Let's take you to a Japanese omakase lunch at Ilden. We're heading out to Ilden, the restaurant, a Japanese restaurant, and we're gonna see how good it is. Should be quite good. We are here at Liang Street. We are gonna go to the restaurants now. Yeah. There's really no signboard, just a door, very discreet. Look at that. Kitchen is opening. We are really looking forward to this lunch. I heard about it. The selections, basically omakase means that the chef decides, and it's well run, very small space. As you can see, there's only 5 seats on the counter, and with a room on the side with about maximum capacity of 8. Small collection of alcohol. The appetizer was really good, very yummy. I had a quick sketch. Basically it's bean curds or layers of it, and it's really well done. First main was raw fish hamachi, and again was very delicious. Then came the beef cheek. The ladies are serving it. It's very interesting production line. They have all kinds of toppings that they put in, and we were just waiting for it, and mouth-watering. When it came, it was so beautiful. Looks really good, and the beef cheek literally melts in our mouth. I had a quick sketch of this as well, and I think we're ready for more. So we've had 3 courses, and it's been so good so far. Getting rid from the sake. Well, next comes the rice, and this really fills up our tummy. I had a large filling, and I had a second go at it as well. So, and as you can see, the ladies have been baking the rice for a while. Obviously, it wasn't cooked only when we walked in. With reservation, I think they would have been preparing this for a while. Roll on top of the rice, some crab meat, as you can see, and it was really delicious. It was again quick sketch, and I really enjoyed this dish as well. Really yummy. Finally, the dessert. Again, very well made, no sugar in it. It was again delicious. So as I have done all the drawing in the restaurant and came home to color it, I had photograph reference. As you can see, I'm going to be playing with color, lots of water, lots of colors, and just basically enjoying myself. I have a good memory of a yummy meal that I just had. It was a wonderful omakase, and well, that's basically trusting the chef with whatever he serve up, and it actually was a wonderful meal that we had. The first one was actually a multi-layered sort of bean curd like stuff, and it's thin layer, multi-layered with very tasty sort of filling. I can't even describe what they are. There was a bit of fruitiness to it, there's a bit of saltiness to it, and it's actually quite interesting taste for the appetizer. The second dish was actually the first main. Is actually the raw fish hamachi, and the second dish was actually also quite yummy because it was actually very fresh. From a sketch perspective, as you can see, it's a combination of red and green, a bit of a Christmas colors. One of the things that you want to do when you are sketching with a single color is to make sure that it doesn't look too plain, and by that I mean on my palette of 16, I have green gold, I have phthalo green, and I intend to sort of mix with that. And the darker green, phthalo green, sometimes I dip in with permanent alizarin crimson to create a very dark sort of version of green, or dark color, as you can see where I put it as part of the shadows, and when I dilute it, and then I chucked in some of the queen burnt orange, it actually creates a very interesting texture. And of course the fish I painted with red. There's a bit of queen rose in it as well. Here the dark is of the same combination where there's a bit of a green in it. Here beef cheek, there is some of the fried lotus root, and there are some I think some greens on top. I sort of have my brush dance around. I think it's very important not to have too much of one single color, and it basically becomes very boring if it's just one color. And when you dip in one color, you can use the analogous colors along with it. Let's say you're using a cool red, you can put in a bit of warm red, a bit of orange, because they are next to each other in the color wheel, so you can basically just mix it in. The last dish is basically raw rice, is fish eggs, and so I intend to leave a lot of white because there's a lot of reflection. I might even go in with a bit of white highlights later on, and again that's just sort of having my brush dance around. Very conscious of putting in the shadow color, making it as dark as possible, and just to make sure the contrast of value is easily seen. A bit of shadows on some of the fish, and a bit more darker green to make sure that it's make it a little bit more pop, make it three-dimensional. At this point, really it's about sculpting the form of the bowl, and putting in more shadows underneath the pieces of fish or food, making more 3D. I suppose you have to evaluate every brush stroke, if you like, before you put it down, to see whether you can add a bit of 3D to it. That's really the key to making your sketch sort of pop, if you like. And you probably aware by now that I'm not really aiming for reality. I guess I'm aiming for some kind of interesting sketch pattern, playing with the color, with shadows, and trying to make the best of creating a feel for three-dimensional sense in this two-dimensional sketchbook, basically. Well, I continue to put more forms, the rice and roe, basically playing with the orange, and also back to the other dish, putting in the browns and light version of shadows, all the time being careful not to overdo it. There's a point in your sketch that you are overdoing the sketch and it won't be pretty after that. So now highlights, reflection, because the rolls are very shiny, and so I'm kind of just randomly dot them according to how I see it in the photograph, and continue to do a bit, put in a bit more shadow, a bit of darks, creating some kind of a form of a bundle of rice and a bundle of roe on top of it. That's it.